In total silence above Earth, a single astronaut drifts away from safety. No rope pulling him back. No sound. No rescue coming in time. His oxygen is running out, and every tiny movement pushes him farther into endless darkness. This was humanity's first step into open space, and it almost became the first death beyond Earth. What happened next changed space survival forever. In the silent vacuum above Earth, one man floats alone, and the line that connects him to life is breaking. No wind, no sound, only breath, slow and heavy, inside a fragile suit. He was trained for danger. He was trained for fear. But nothing prepared him for this moment. Drifting away from the spacecraft, watching safety shrink into a distant shape. This is not a simulation. This is not a test. This is the first time a human has stepped into open space, and something has gone terribly wrong. Every second burns oxygen. Every movement risks spinning forever. And the most terrifying part, no one on Earth can reach him in time. He remembers the moment the hatch opened. Inside the spacecraft, everything was controlled, measured, safe. Outside, there was only infinite black. His gloves felt stiff. His breathing sounded too loud. When he pushed himself out, the Earth filled his vision, blue, white, alive. It was beautiful and terrifying. Training told him to move slowly. Training told him to trust the tether. Training told him nothing could go wrong. But space does not care about training. Space does not forgive mistakes. He reached for the outer panel, carefully anchoring his boots. For a few perfect seconds, he was not afraid. He was history, the first human walking where no footsteps could exist. Then, the unexpected tug came from behind. At first, it felt like a gentle pull, a small vibration through the suit. He turned his head slowly. The tether behind him was twisting, not straight like before. A subtle motion, but growing. He tried to stabilize his body. Instead, he began to rotate, slowly at first, then faster. The stars stretched into streaks. Earth spun past his visor again and again. He attempted to counter the motion, but in space, every movement creates more motion. There is no friction, no ground, no stopping force. His heart rate climbed. His breath grew uneven. Inside the spacecraft, voices called his name. Their words arrived seconds late. Their instructions came too slow, and the tether continued to twist tighter. Spinning in silence creates a strange illusion. Without sound, panic feels distant, like watching someone else suffer. But inside the suit, reality is sharp. Oxygen levels drop slowly, invisibly. Sweat gathers but cannot evaporate. His gloves feel heavier. His fingers begin to tire. The spacecraft drifts in and out of view like a lighthouse in a storm. He tries to grab the tether, but momentum pulls his arm away. Every attempt to stop only makes the rotation worse. He remembers his instructor's warning. In space, control is an illusion. You only borrow stability. The words now feel like prophecy. The tether creaks under tension. A thin lifeline, stretched between survival and endless drifting. Then the unthinkable happens. The tether snaps free from its locked position. Not broken, but loose. He is no longer anchored. The spinning stops suddenly, but not because he gained control. It stops because he is drifting, away from the spacecraft, away from safety, away from humanity. His body moves slowly, silently, steadily into open space. There is no sensation of motion. Only the shrinking shape of the craft tells the truth. He reaches out instinctively, but his arm touches nothing. Radio communication crackles. Voices are louder now, urgent. Instructions overlap. But physics does not respond to urgency. The gap widens. And for the first time, he understands how small a human is against infinity. Inside the suit, time changes shape. Seconds stretch like hours. His breathing becomes the only rhythm left. He calculates distance instinctively, watching the spacecraft grow smaller. Without propulsion, movement cannot be reversed. He remembers the emergency maneuver, controlled body motion to create directional shift. But that technique requires precision, and fear destroys precision. He forces himself to be still. Slow breath in, slow breath out. He rotates his torso deliberately, using mass and motion. It is subtle, almost invisible, but something changes. His path begins to curve slightly. Not towards safety, but not directly away. A fragile possibility forms. If he can adjust trajectory, if he can conserve oxygen, if he can remain calm long enough, survival is still imaginable. But something strange begins to happen inside the suit. The temperature rises faster than expected. His visor fogs at the edges. His heartbeat echoes loudly through the helmet. He checks the readings again. Oxygen consumption is accelerating. Stress is burning survival. He tries to speak calmly to mission control, but his voice trembles. The Earth below looks peaceful, unaware of the crisis unfolding above it. Cities glow faintly in darkness. Oceans reflect sunlight. Life continues normally, while one human fights for existence in silence. He realizes a chilling truth. Even if rescue were possible, time may not allow it. Survival will not come from help. It must come from a decision he has not yet made. He remembers a forbidden procedure discussed only once during training. A last resort. Dangerous. Unpredictable. Using suit ventilation to create thrust. The instructor warned, "It may push you home or spin you into oblivion." The idea returns now, not as theory but as choice. He studies the spacecraft position. Distance remains vast, but not impossible. He adjusts orientation carefully. Every motion must be exact. One wrong direction means permanent separation. His finger hovers over the control switch. Inside the helmet, his breath pauses. Space waits. Silence deepens. There is no guarantee. There is no second attempt. Only one burst. One decision. One chance to rewrite the outcome. He activates the vent. A sudden burst of gas erupts behind him. The force is small, but in space, small force becomes destiny. His body jerks forward, then begins to rotate again, faster than expected. He tries to correct, but momentum builds uncontrollably. The spacecraft grows larger, then slides away to the side. He overcorrects. The spin intensifies. Stars smear into light. The suit shakes slightly from internal pressure change. He fears he has made the fatal mistake. The path towards safety is becoming chaos. Oxygen drops further. Vision narrows. The spacecraft appears, disappears, appears again. Survival now depends not on strength, but on surrendering control to physics itself. His body finally stabilizes, but something is wrong. He is no longer drifting randomly. He is moving in a slow arc around Earth. The spacecraft is ahead of him, not behind. Gravity, weak but present, has curved his path. The maneuver did not send him straight home. It placed him in a temporary orbit, a fragile, accidental trajectory. He is not falling. He is circling. If the orbit intersects the spacecraft's path, he may return. If not, he will circle until oxygen ends. Mission Control realizes the same possibility. Instructions become precise. Timing becomes everything. He must do nothing. He must wait. And waiting in silence becomes the hardest task of all. Minutes pass like lifetimes. Oxygen reaches critical threshold. The spacecraft approaches slowly along the orbital path. He cannot accelerate. He cannot brake. He can only extend his arms and hope alignment is perfect. The distance closes too slowly. The craft glides nearer, massive, silent, indifferent. His vision dims slightly at the edges. Breath grows shallow. Then, unexpectedly, the spacecraft begins to drift away again. The orbital timing is imperfect. The chance is slipping. He feels weightless in more ways than one. But then a new motion appears, a small extension from the craft side. A maneuver arm reaching outward into the void. The arm was never planned. It was improvised in real time by the crew inside. A risk beyond protocol. As he drifts past, fingertips extended, contact happens for only a moment. A glove brushes metal, then grips. The impact pulls him violently but safely toward the craft. Hands secure him. The hatch opens. Air floods his ears. Sound returns. He survives. But the true twist emerges later. Data analysis reveals he never drifted randomly. The accidental orbit was predicted by one engineer who quietly adjusted spacecraft orientation without permission. A single hidden decision changed everything. Survival did not come from chance. It came from unseen courage. He stepped into space expecting to make history. Instead, he learned something deeper. Survival in the impossible rarely belongs to one person alone. It belongs to preparation, instinct, and the unseen minds working quietly in the background. His story reminds us that courage is not the absence of fear, it is action inside fear. Somewhere above Earth, silence once held a human life in balance. And because of one decision, one moment, one refusal to give up, that life returned home. If this story moved you, stay with us. The universe holds many more moments where humanity stood at the edge and refused to fall. Subscribe, and we will meet again where danger and wonder collide.